Hi everybody, how are we doing on this fine day? Welcome back to another empties video. I'm going to be reviewing 8 products that I've tried of late. 8 empties. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? 8 products that I've used and either enjoyed, didn't enjoy, formed an opinion on either way. Completely cruelty free, completely vegan, and I want to share them with you. So let's get cracking. If you're new, obviously subscribe if you want to. Don't have to, but I think you should. Right, in no particular order, I like to do this as a lucky dip. Oh, okay, we've got a skincare product to start with. So this is by Evolve Beauty, and this is their Radiant Glow Mask for all skin types. It had raw cacao in it and blueberry particles. Now, what I liked about this is that the blueberry particles are actually from the food industry. So they are blueberry bits, that's the technical term, bits, that would otherwise go in the bin or in the compost or just get disposed of. They are repurposed for this scrub, and I think they used to use walnut pieces. Oh no, coconut, they used to use coconut pieces, but this formula is a lot more gentle. The blueberry is a lot more gentle. I love this, to be completely honest. I'm not usually that infatuated with like chocolate masks or cacao masks, but this one was really nice because it went on, smells like brownie batter. It honestly, yeah, it smells like uncooked brownie. Specifically uncooked, not cooked. Uncooked. But yeah, it smells so good, so it's a real like sensual treat. To be honest, I didn't see any difference in terms of the brightening effects. I think cacao is an antioxidant. I don't know how effective it is in skincare, but I think that's the purpose of it being there. It's an antioxidant, and I love cacao as like an eating ingredient. As a food ingredient. I think it's a great ingredient, but I haven't looked too much into whether cacao is good for the skin, but I don't think it does any harm as far as I know. But I love that you could put it on as a mask and then it's like a super gentle physical exfoliant because of the blueberry particles. When you try and like when you start to work it off, like introduce a little bit of water, it turns into this sort of milky consistency. It's a very interesting product actually, and I think it's one of my favourite products from Evolve. A very gentle and an all-round good product. I like this. I think I got gifted this, but I would purchase it myself. Not cheap, but a nice kind of like bougie treat. What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, this was the Cover FX Illuminating Primer, and this is actually not empty. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may know that I did a dedicated video on Cover FX and I featured this in it. It's pretty old, and as much as I love it, it's a great illuminating primer. I can show you on my hand actually. There's still product there. This is the annoying thing. I feel like you get so much product, or I didn't use too much of it. Like I used to use this absolutely constantly. It's the most beautiful, lightweight, lit from within primer. I would definitely repurchase this. Like it is super, I wouldn't say it's like hydrating at all, but it's very lightweight, gives a real sort of sheen to the skin. Just an all-round really decent primer. If I'm comparing it to something in my collection at the moment that I am using, this is the Ilia Liquid Light Serum Highlighter. It's similar to this, but this is more of a gel consistency, whereas this is much more lightweight. And like I say, I love this. I would repurchase it, but I just didn't use it up in time, and now it breaks me out. I think it's just old, like it's an old product. It says 24 months, and I think that dedicated Cover FX video I did in 2018. So realistically, it's not surprising that it's breaking me out, but it didn't break me out in its prime. Let's put it that way. And I'm still going to keep it because I think it will be good to do swatches on top of. I like to do swatches on top of primer so you can get the full impact of them. So I will use this up, but not on my face. Okay, next up, a fake tan. I finished this up ages ago. This was the Bondi Sands Everyday Gradual Tanning Milk, and I do have a full blog review on this if you want to read in depth about this fake tan. And I actually love Gradual Tanner. I think it's the way, I prefer it to mousse. I know mousse is, I would do like a tanning mousse for a special occasion, or if I wanted to look especially nice, do you know what I mean? But I just think gradual tanners are so much more convenient because it's just like, instead of having to moisturize every day, you just gradual tan every day. And I think that the actual colour of this was really nice. I think the colour was natural, very subtle. Like I'm very fair naturally, and I think that for anyone deeper than my natural skin tone, I don't know if this would work for you because it was just a very subtle gradual tanning milk. It wasn't like one that kind of built up, and I don't even think they do different shades of this. I think it's just this one gradual tanning milk. I don't like the phrase tanning milk. That makes me feel a bit weird. I got compliments on this tan when I wore it, but it is pretty fragranced, and I think at first the fragrance was fine for me. Like, I love the scent. I think the scent is delicious. It smells, to me, it says it's cocoa butter, but to me this is straight up cowpole. if you don't know what Cowpole is, it's it smells like my childhood. I mean, it's not a good nostalgic smell because Cowpole is a kid's medicine. So I suppose it's like a painkiller, but it's supposed to taste good for kids and also not too harsh because obviously kids are small, they can't take paracetamol. So for me, this just smells like, it smells like my youth because I was actually quite a sickly child. I don't know if I've said this on my channel before. I wasn't a sickly child. There's obviously way worse things that children go through. I take that back entirely. But I was just constantly sick. I would get tonsillitis pretty much every single, I think it was like every month pretty much, or like every 8 weeks, so maybe like every 2 months I would just get tonsillitis like continually up until I was like 10 years old. Very strange because I never get tonsillitis now and I still have my tonsils to this day. But I consumed a lot of Cowpole in my time. A lot of Cowpole, a lot of arnica as well. Did anyone else used to eat arnica? This is probably very bad. Don't eat arnica. But you know those little arnica capsules? Did anybody else have them? I'll see if I can find a picture of the little thing because they tasted just like sweets. They were just like sugary coated. I think arnica's good for bruises and if you're not feeling well. I think. I don't even know what arnica... I never take arnica anymore, but when I was younger I used to sometimes take the bottle. Very bad. And it was like a popping bottle, so you press the top and it would pop one out and I would just like chew them behind the sofa like eating arnica. I don't think you can like overdose on arnica, but I'm not an expert, but don't do it anyway. Either way, don't do it. I don't know how I got down that track of me sat behind the sofa eating arnica at my nan's house, but this I would not repurchase. That's it, the fragrance. I would not repurchase this because of the fragrance. I think it started to irritate my skin after a while, and that happens quite a lot with me and fake tans. I don't know what it is about fake tan, but they like to add a lot of fragrance. Like, fragrance in this is quite far up the ingredients list. The Saint-Tropez in the blue bottle, their mousse, I used that recently and had a really bad reaction on my chest. I think my chest area is just a bit more sensitive than the rest of my body. But yeah, this has got Parfum in it, so it's a nice scent, don't get me wrong, but it's too intense for me. Next up is, a face scrub. This is by Upcircle, and this is their coffee and floral oils face scrub. This is a no-no. I think it's a no-no. I mean, I mentioned this in my yearly favourites, not this particular one. I mentioned just like coffee scrubs in my yearly favourites because I love like cup of coffee from Lush. I love the scent of coffee and I love just the smell, the experience, the aromatherapy of coffee granules. I love. However, I think that coffee is too intense for a physical exfoliant. That is how I feel now, and I think I've found a lot finer physical exfoliants that I feel a lot better about kind of working onto my face. I don't even do a physical exfoliant all over my face. Usually I'll just keep it around my nose because that's where I can my skin can just take a little bit more exfoliation. The rest of my face I'll use a chemical exfoliant because they're a lot more gentle. This is got a load of essential oils in along with a load of coffee, and I just don't get it. I don't get this whole craze of like using coffee grounds. I think it's amazing that they've upcycled used coffee grounds, but if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You can pretty much get coffee grounds for free. I'm sure your local cafe will give you used coffee grounds for free. I mean, maybe that's breaching hygiene protocol, but I know when I used to work in a cafe, they just go in the bin. Like, it's not... I feel like people pay a lot for just coffee grounds with a load of essential oils in. And that's how I feel about them. Also, you're not technically... I feel like nobody really talks about how you're not technically supposed to put them down the drain. Coffee grounds are not supposed to... I mean, it's fine if it's like a tiny amount, but sometimes when I used to use the Frank body scrub, it would make the drain go down really slowly in the bath. This is very intimate. I don't know why I'm going into this so much detail. But you're not supposed to put coffee grounds down the drain. Again, when I used to work in a cafe, you put them in the bin. You put them in the compost. You don't put them down the drain. So I find it all a bit weird how coffee is such a big... Like, when it's just straight up coffee and no kind of, like, carrier ingredient, or they're not ground down really, really finely. It's just literally coffee grounds. I just find it odd. Product number 5 is... Oh, another tan. Got a bit tan crazy of late. But this was the Saint-Tropez Gradual Tan Tinted. This is magnificent, but it is quite expensive. That's the only downside of this. This is basically like it's a gradual tan, but it has almost like a gel consistency to it. I don't know if there's any left in here that I can squeeze out, but oh yeah, oh god, blimey, that's quite a lot. I think I'll probably cut the top. Usually I cut the top off of any products like this so I can get the most, all the remaining product out. That's what it looks like. So it has kind of like a guide colour, and for me, because I'm quite pale, it gives me like an instant tan that kind of sets down. It's not like a tan that's going to run, because it's a gradual tan that you leave on your skin, but it gives like an instant kind of tint to the skin, almost like a blurring effect to the skin. Like sometimes I use this on my legs the night I want a tan, if you know what I mean. Not really the night, because I'm not doing anything at the moment, but say like I was going out of an evening, or if I had like something to go to where I was wearing a dress when my legs were showing, this is a really nice kind of like instant tan, but also builds up to be a gradual tan as well. And yeah, I just love the effect of it. It smells really good. It is quite highly scented. I try not to use it around my chest area, again, sensitive skin probs, but I would definitely repurchase this. Try and get it, if you are going to try this, try and get it whilst it's on sale, because it's not, Saint-Tropez is not cheap. It's not cheap, and like I'd say this tube doesn't go that far, because if you're doing a whole body, it's probably like 8 or 10 applications maybe, but I am quite short, so I don't have that much surface area to cover. So that's that one. Item number 6 is, I'm trying to find an interesting feeling product. Oh, okay, this is an old favourite. This is the Tropic Deep Hydration Mask. This I've talked about a million times before. I will link my favourite face masks video if you want to hear me talk about this and rant and rave about how much I love it. I already have a replacement for this. I think it is absolutely magnificent. It's one of my favourite hydrating masks. It's a creamy kind of thick, smells like berries a little bit. I think it's got some kind of berry in it. Yes, wild Australian super berries and resurrection flower extract. I think that it's a really gentle, really hydrating, really thick mask that you can use for like half an hour. You can use it overnight. You can sometimes I even use this as a moisturizer, like a nighttime cream, and it just kind of sinks into my skin overnight, and I love it. Number 7, I think we're on now, nearing the end. We've come so far. Oh, this was a perfume. This was an Eden perfume, which is a brand that I've talked about many, many times on my channel. They are a Brighton-based brand. That's where they had their first store, and I think they've expanded to London now, but I'm yet to go to, is it Portobello Road? They've got a store. But they dupe designer fragrances. They make mainstream fragrances that aren't vegan, which is great. Vegan, cruelty-free, I think paraben-free, and slightly more natural maybe. I think they say chemical-free. We'll leave that for now, but this was the scent 504. They don't name their scents to like avoid, I think it's like to avoid copyright claims. They don't name the scent what the original scent is. Is this Daisy? Is that what that is? So you basically go on their website and you type in the scent you usually wear, or like the mainstream designer scent, so like Marc Jacobs Daisy, and then it will tell you the number of the perfume. They're all named by numbers. 504, was that Daisy? Oh no, this is not mine. I remember now. This one was my boyfriend's. Okay, let me tell you the story. So I got my boyfriend an Eden perfume. He's not vegan. I got him an Eden perfume for Christmas, not this year. I think the Christmas before that, or the Christmas before that, a couple of Christmases ago basically, and I decided via the notes on the website. I didn't go to the store in person, I ordered online, and I decided via the notes on the website. I haven't tried the original of this perfume, or I suppose it's a cologne. I haven't tried the original. I just matched it up through the notes, and he loves it. This is like his signature scent. And it is honestly delicious. I think it's a unisex scent actually, but for me, I mean, I personally wouldn't wear this because maybe it's because I associate it with him, but it's quite a woody, oh here we go, like woody, masculine, typically masculine scent. It smells kind of woody, musky, nice man. That's how I describe this. Woody, musky, nice man. But I actually think the original of this is a unisex scent. It's a really expensive cologne or perfume, whatever you want to call it. It's like £300, no, £300. I don't know why I'm working in dollars. £300. It's a fancy like French brand. And this actually, unlike most Eden perfumes, this hangs around for ages. Like it lingers longer than most other fragrances I've tried from Eden, because that's the one downside. They don't seem to last that long on the skin. So you have to like reapply throughout the day, which is kind of annoying. I think he gave this to me because you can take these back and get them refilled with like whatever scent you want, and you get a 15% discount. I think you can even post them back to them and get a 15% discount, but I'll have to look into it. So that's that one. Would definitely repurchase. He's bought many of these since my original matching online success. Christmas present extravaganza. And then last but not least, should we finish on a high? Hopefully this is a product I like. Oh, I thought it was going to be toothpaste. So no, this is a hand cream. This is by Antipodes, and it was their Jubilation Ultra Nourishing Hand and Body Cream. If you would like a brand focus video on Antipodes, because I've actually tried a lot of their vegan products now, and I have a lot to say. Good and not so good. But yeah, if you'd like a brand focus on Antipodes, please do let me know, because I feel like I don't hear anybody talk about them. I've never really been into hand creams. Like, I feel like they're more of a means to an end. Like, you've got dry hands, use a hand cream, but I wouldn't say like you need this hand cream, or this is a great hand cream, or like you should spend £30 or £40 on this hand cream. But this range kind of changed my mind. They are bougie, like they are close to £30, don't get me wrong, but they are such a delight. Like, they are so nice. They smell, they're an experience. They're like a sensual experience. No, they're not sensual, but they're lovely. If you know someone who does a lot of gardening or likes hand creams, obviously, then I really recommend this as a gift, because they are more fancy. They last a long time. They come in like aluminium packaging, which is really nice. And I really recommend the blue tube, which I think is called Delightful or Delight. And the pink one's nice as well, but they're all quite like earthy floral scents, but so hydrating, so gentle, and genuinely really, really good. My brother's hands have been really, really dry of late, because obviously we're all washing our hands lots, and I lent him Joyful to test out and use, because I think even like E45, a really gentle E45 cream, was way too harsh on his hands, because he had like cracked hands. He loved it. It wasn't stinging at all, which I'm surprised at, because it was fragrance. I thought maybe they would sting sore hands. He said that it's done really, really well for him, so James approves, and I approve. I love these, and I wouldn't usually say like I recommend a £30 hand cream, but I actually do really recommend these. Is it a necessity? Probably not. Can you get a similar thing a lot cheaper? Maybe, but the blends, like the scents of these, are so nice and just delicious. This is actually probably my least favourite scent. I would say the blue one's my favourite, then the pink one, then this one, but it's still really nice. And if you need to get like a grown woman, I don't know why I said it like that. If you need to get like a mum or a grandma, or just like a grown person, a hand cream, and you want it to be like a fancy hand cream, and you don't want to get something from the white company because they're not cruelty free, but you want that kind of level of fancy, I recommend Antipodes hand creams, because they are great. Although I wouldn't use them on your body, because I feel like you go through this really quickly on your body. Maybe just me, because I'm quite a liberal moisturiser kind of gal. Yes, that is the last empty. I really hope you enjoyed this empties video. If you did, give us a little thumbs up if you fancy, and subscribe if you want to see some more from me, because I do these every week. And yeah, hopefully I shall see you very soon. Bye!